Hey you, do you actually know who you are? I asked that question because we're talking today about identity. Who are you? Who is the person you identify with? In this video, we're going to clarify what an identity is, where it is coming from, and why most of us do not even live our true identity, but also how you're able to change that in order to become the person that you want to be, in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve in life. So stay tuned, check it out in this video. Hey superstar, you can be proud of yourself. You found this channel because you want more out of your life. Normal is not in your dictionary, and you know you can get whatever you dream about. Less talking, more action. My name is Anna Russo, your new success host. Welcome to my podcast, Luxury Problems. Okay guys, what is a identity and why do we need one? Let's dive in because I'm pretty sure there's many out there, they don't even know what their own identity is. So most of the people think, well, I have an identity, I have a fingerprint, I have a passport, I have a name. That should be enough to tell you who I am. I'm telling you right now, this is not who you are, but this is what your name is. This is when you are born. These are just facts based on decisions that have been made. Your parents decided what your name will be, but do you identify as that name? There's many people out there that are changing their names when they're older and they're allowed to change their names. And if you at some point made the decision to work as a hairstylist, which I did back then I can identify with my job, but I'm just making a cover up for who I am claiming to be, who am I wanting to be, because to each job title is a story attached to it. And some people, they just not really, first of all, most of the people don't even know who they are, and that's why they're looking for all these cover-ups for these jobs, these names, because I heard many times before when I said, but yeah, so who are you? What is it that you want? And when people tell me, yeah, but I'm a chef, I'm like, okay, but this is your job, so who are you, or what's important to you? Yeah, but this is what I have been doing the last 30 years, so this is who I am. So people are not wanting to see behind that facade, behind that wall of their job title. Your job is not defining who you are. There's people, yes, they just have this passion for what they're doing, and they're lucky enough to have had the balls to choose that's what they want to do for a living. Because there's many people out there also, they say, I would have loved to be a such and such, but I never had the opportunities, or I was never eligible to do so. Let me tell you, you're eligible to do anything, because if you want to be something or someone, you can. An identity is nothing else that a choice that you make based on what do you want to put in, how much are you willing to sacrifice. Are you still true to yourself by doing these things in order to become that person that you want to be? So let me make this clear. Names, job titles, relationship status doesn't define your identity. Okay, so let's go all the way back when we were kids. If you still remember your childhood, and if you still remember how you were playing and how you were just experiencing life when you were a kid, then I'm pretty sure that a kid's imagination, creativity, vision for their spiritual world and their creative world is still so in tune with this fresh life, if that makes sense. There is no heaviness attached to it. Kids, they just explore, they learn, they hurt themselves, they stand up, they do it again. That's why you see all these kids embracing these superhero characters. When you were asking me back then, I thought for a while I was a Dalmatina, like these dogs, with the spots on, because that movie came out, right? So I thought, oh my God, I want to be a dog. So I thought I'm this dog, and I was playing with my other friends. We all were dogs. And in my eyes, it was crystal clear that I was a dog. I knew it was just playing, but in the same time, I could get myself into this character. So I identified with a dog. Same thing with princess. If you ask a girl what you want to be, she might say something else, but in my case, I wanted to be a princess. I saw myself, wearing these dresses, and I could picture like this whole surrounding, everything that was being a part of being a princess. I could see it, I could touch it, I could feel it. I really was just blossoming in the idea of being a princess. Same with boys. If you ask a boy and he saw Spider-Man and he's just obsessed with this thought of a man saving people and the world, and he's like flying around, this boy is really getting his thought, his vision, everything into this character of being Spider-Man. And that is so beautiful. And that's how we are able still to create these characters, those identities. So, but what does come with it is the question. Most of, especially as kids, we just play, so there's no consequences really attached to it. We just experience, and we saw this on TV, and we just want to be that specific superhero figure. But of course, next day we have to go to school and everything is, out the window anyways. But in real life, it looks a little bit different. You see some people on social media, or you see very successful businessmen, and you just think, I just want to be who they are. I'm just obsessed with the thought that I can have all these things that this person had. Oh, it must be great to be this and that person. Oh, it must be great to be Elon Musk. Oh, it must be great to be Tony Robbins. Until it comes to the point where they have to put the same amount of work and effort in, like Elon Musk and Tony Robbins, that's just examples, in order to achieve those things. Do you want to wake up in 4 a.m. in order to already get your day started? Are you willing to sacrifice your time with your family, your friends, in order to achieve this financial and this success that you envision for yourself? So are you really willing to put in all this work, not only for a short amount of time, but for your whole entire life in order to become that type of person? And that's when most of the time people fail and they're not succeeding, and they lose themselves in becoming and wanting to become these identities that they're just not. In their core and in their heart, they just don't live what they want to be. So when does that get lost? The older we get, the more experiences we make, the more disappointments we experience, and a lot of situations where we lose trust in many things. So as humans, we love to put a label on things, and we want to have this knowing, this is who I am, this is who I identify with, this is the group that I belong to. It's just so human and natural that we just want to be loved, accepted, and belonging to a certain group. Just think back to our evolution. If we would not have had this specific characteristics, or if we would not have followed certain rules, behaviors, it would have meant death for the most of us. Just imagine if you just go all the way back where, herds of people were walking miles and miles in order to set up their little villages. It's a group of men and women and kids, and everybody had to follow certain rules. They had to behave a certain way in order to be accepted, to be loved. Of course, the love and acceptance does not have anything to do with our way we adapt to something. But that's how, even back then, it was easy to put fear on somebody. If you're not following the rules, if you're not being adaptive enough, you're just not part of this group no more. So back then, it would have meant if you would not have been part of this group, you would not have been accepted. You would have been a single person out there fighting for yourself. It would have meant death. in the worst case. I mean, it's nothing most horrible than being in Mother Nature and knowing it's either the tiger or it's myself that's gonna survive. So one or the other is definitely gonna be eaten up. So you see, it goes all the way back in our evolution, where it was important that we have to adapt in order to be loved and accepted, and also being on survival mode, surviving. So what has that all to do with the identity? By just adapting, most of the people were not able to show their real characters, their true selves, because they were just adapting in order to be loved, accepted, and so on. So by doing this, they were not able to build their own characters, their own identity, just in order to fit in, which is nowadays not so much different. We are kids, are creative, we can envision ourselves being superheroes, but then on the line, it somehow got lost by going to school, going to a school system that tells you that you have to have good tests in order to graduate and have a good resume, and in order to get a good job, because apparently jobs are so important in order to survive and live a great life. That's what we've been taught, and that's why we confirm and behave a certain way once we get into school. It's like so trained and so deep rooted within us when we get older, and that's why so many people struggle with, just think about, like a young teenager already needs to know what they want to do for living in order to live life, pay bills, having a family. And just planting these seeds in a young brain, of course, can change the way who you are and the way how you proceed everything else in your life. But let me tell you this, every change that you start to make happen in your life is a identity shift. Every time you try to change a certain behavior, you automatically will become a different person later on. If you want to be this top CEO of a huge multi-million-dollar company, then you will definitely automatically will start acting different. You may be not going out with your friends every single weekend no more because they just want you around and party and celebrate a great life. You start to think different in order to achieve these things. If you have never been happy with your body and you just always try to find all the excuses to not change something in your life, or you put everything on your maybe health and that you're not able to go to the gym because this and that, all these excuses just hold you back from creating this new identity that you want to be. And how many of us have been saying stuff like, oh, I can't do it because you say these excuses, but don't you think that you say this for other people? You make excuses for yourself in order to not be who you want to be, and that you're not getting the results that you want to have at the end of the day. So what we have to do is, first of all, getting rid of this deep-rooted fear. Ask yourself, why is there certain things that you don't like the way that you're doing those? Is there something you would like to change, but for some reason you have a hard time changing it, and that's what's holding you back for becoming this version of yourself that you envision and you see for yourself, but you're still not achieving it? Write these things down. What is it? And once you have that, you can make an action plan towards what would you need to do? What would my future self as that person would do now in order to do that? And where am I now? And why am I not this person already? So if you know, like, the in-between story that only you know, because this is your identity, then you just have to make these steps in order to become this person, that version of yourself that you want to identify with. So every little change, every little thing, if it's just like instead of going 2 times a week to the gym. Now today, you like this week you start with going 3 times to the gym. If it's about cleaning up once a week, you start cleaning up your house like twice a week. You will see how much difference it will make. And if you know that a clean house will make you more productive in your business life, then you know already you will create big change just by doing that. And automatically you will start adapting all these new habits, good habits. It will feel natural to you. It will feel so easy and it will flow, and automatically you will let go of the baggage that you may have had that was kind of like an addiction. You know, some people, they may just said, oh, but I love going out with my friends every single weekend and like, you know, drink a lot of alcohol and just be crazy. If you see what you do during the week in order to become that best version of yourself, and then you look back how much the weekends drain you and will bring you back to become this perfect version of yourself, you will automatically lose interest by doing it. And that's totally fine. I'm never a person that is so pro-radical. If people ask me, Anna, what should I do? I feel like I need to change this and that. I will tell them, yes, you would need to let go of that certain thing. But also I know if you give too many restrictions, people will lose their focus, they lose interest because they're like, I have to sacrifice so much, even though they forget that it's only for their highest good, but still they think they have to do it because mom told me I only get a cookie if I bring out the trash, like stuff like this. No, it's not. You don't do it for others, you don't do it for mom, you do it for your own self. And that's why strict regulations might help with some people, but we're talking about the normal humans that really have a hard time adapting new behaviors. You know, just do one step at a time and first start with doing the things that you would need to do in order to get there faster, and not cutting out the things that you really like. Like everything will come automatically once you see good positive changes within your new structure that you created. It is on social media, especially. I feel like it is hard for younger people. I grew up without a smartphone. I grew up without social media because it was just simply not there yet. So I had the luxury of seeing this world in a different way while I was in my development stage, and was not so spoiled from left and right and all these platforms like Instagram and Facebook, when young people scroll down and see all these perfect bodies, these perfect lives, these perfect relationships, and you're just getting super depressed by seeing it because obviously your life is just not like that. So how can a young person, 14, 15 years old, just see these things without this life experience and without living certain relationships yet and seeing this? So we create like this imagination of something that is not even real, because we know how many people put up these pictures and all of them are retouched, and then all these stories attached to it, they're just like made up in order to feel better about ourselves. But that again is the perfect example. You can create your own identity. You can make all this up. That is the beauty of it, but in the same time it's sad because a lot of these people are not aware of it. They see it on social media, but they believe everything they see. And they will put too much thought and energy into believing that. For me, it's like I scroll through, I like to be updated, and I like to put my own content up because it is great for my business, but in the same time I am not consuming myself over social media content, because I know how you can manipulate everything in order to have it the way you want to have it. But I would never want people to think that I'm a certain person, but then when they get me in real life, I cannot deliver what I'm preaching. And it would be so difficult to put up that wall and creating this fake identity in order to be liked, be accepted. get that job. Just imagine you pretend that you are that super top manager in a company and you want to apply at Apple for this top position, so you have no experience and you don't have any knowledge about all these topics. But you create that fake identity that this is what you've been doing for your whole entire life, this is what's been happening all the time, and that's why you're eligible to work at Apple. So you have two chances now. You can either learn all these skills in a very fast, quick time, or you risk it and go there and see if you're able to adapt fast enough. But sooner or later, it will come out. And this pressure that you created on yourself in order to be this identity that you're not is so big that I would not want to deal with it. But it's definitely a way of doing it. So identity is basically nothing else than what you feel within. Whoever you want to be in this very moment in time, you can create this identity for you. If you're sick of being identified as a hairstylist, as a banker, or whatever this is, if people tell you, but yeah, you're just a banker, why you're even thinking you can do this and that. So people are just like so small-minded when they just identify you with your job. Like, I'm not my job. I do this for a living, but this is not who I am. And once you understand that and you don't put yourself this label on no more, it will be so much easier and so much more fulfilling without all this pressure created not only around you but also within you, that you have to deliver a certain way because people expect you to, because that's how a hairdresser is supposed to do certain things. Do you understand? So there's many things how you're able to do that. And also, I know there's many people out there, they say, well, I always have been doing it like that, and that's why I'm just gonna continue doing it like this. But they're still expecting different outcomes. But how you want a different outcome if you still keep doing the things that you always been doing it? And it's like, especially the older generation, they didn't have all these opportunities like we have them. And just this knowing of, damn, I've always been doing it like this, but what would happen if I would do things differently now? Like, I have been living with this identity my whole entire life, and somehow it starts to be mine. Like, it's the ego that wants that identity. It is not like your true inner self, it's your ego, and that ego doesn't want to leave that old identity, right? Because the new identity might fail, or the new identity is maybe not what you want it to be. But just think of the ego as this bad little demon on your left shoulder that says, no, we want to stay who we are, we want to stay where we are, we don't want to achieve bigger and better things for our life. Let's just do whatever we've been doing before, and let's let the angel talk on the right side. So, but the angel wants, better for us, and also having the feeling being fulfilled, being happy about our choices, and also living our best lives. And that's why I can encourage everybody, I'm your angel now, I encourage everybody to think really about what is it that you want in life, and if that's financial, if that's just quality of life, if that's success in business, success can mean anything. Is it better relationships, and you just, have never had any beautiful, fulfilling relationships, then just ask yourself, why might that be? Don't try to find the mistakes in other people or the other partners that you had previously, why things didn't work out. Just think about, who is the person that you would like to have in your life? What characteristics would that person need to have that you say, this is now what I want for the future? And then also, if you pointed out all these things that you're seeking in somebody, ask yourself if you have those qualities yourself, and what would you need to do in order to become that person that somebody like your perfect envision of a partner has, what would you need to change in order to attract that? But don't do the things and change things about you that you like and the qualities that you have. Don't change those just in order to attract a certain person. Be your true authentic self, but also be willing to change certain habits that have been holding you back to get better, achieve better, be happier, be full of joy. All these things are adding up, and you can become that person that you want to be. Don't be scared. Don't be stupid by just thinking that, don't act out of a selfish and egoish place, because the only person you're going to hurt is going to be yourself. And people, we have this one single life. We live one single time, at least like in this body. Who knows, like maybe we incarnate again and again. But still, you have this chance. So please take it serious, and also don't waste your time on things. And especially procrastination is the worst that you can spend your time on. Just go for it. Be the person you want to be. Do good. Don't be an asshole, because nobody wants to be around assholes. Don't just change into an identity that you are deep down not. I just cannot wait to hear your comments under that video, because there's many people that struggling with changing and also adapting new things in their life. But once they're over that bridge, and once they see how many beautiful things they can have by doing that, they're like, why didn't I do it early already? But hey, for everything, it's its right timing. And I know you're watching this video because something was guiding you to watch it, because you might want to change some things in your life in order to become your perfect self, your perfect identity that you feel like you resonate the most. And I am thankful for your like, and I am very thankful for everybody stopping by. Please leave me a like, a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, just click that little subscribe button. You will not miss out on any future videos that are coming. I'm very thankful for your being here, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your Friday. Bye bye.